In this lesson, we are going to look at solving equations when the variable is in more than one place. So if we look at this first example, there's a variable on the left-hand side of the equation and there's a variable on the right-hand side of the equation. What we need to do is we need to get those together. Now, it really does not matter whether you want to place the variable on the left side or on the right side. You will end up with the same answer. So here, what we'll do is we'll move the variables all to the left-hand side. So just as solving an equation where the variable's on one side, when you use inverse operations and you keep everything in balance by doing the same thing to both sides, we're going to also use that same process here. So if we have a positive 4x on the right-hand side, the inverse would be a minus 4x because we want to cancel that out and we want to make it 0. And what we do to one side, we must do to the other side. So we're going to subtract 4x from both sides. That's going to leave us here with 2x plus 2 equals 10. And then 4x minus 4x is 0. It's gone. Now we are back to a basic equation that we have been solving before, where the variable is just on one side. So we use inverse operations. We need to move that positive 2. The inverse of adding 2 is subtracting 2. And what you do to one side, you do to the other. So we end up with 2x, then 2 subtract 2 is 0, so it's gone, equals 8. 2x means 2 times x. The inverse of multiplication is division, so we will divide both sides by 2. 2 divided by 2 is just 1, so we're left with x equals 8 divided by 2 is 4. So our answer is x equals 4. We are asked to verify this. Verify means make sure we have the correct answer. So we take our original equation, and what we are going to do is we are going to substitute the value of 4 into the x spot. So instead of x, I'm going to put a 4. And I want to make sure that my left-hand side equals my right-hand side. So I replace that x with 4 as well. And we're using 4 because that is the answer we found. So now we simplify. 6 times 4 is 24. So we have 24 plus 2 equals 10 plus 4 times 4 is 16. 24 plus 2 is 26. 10 plus 16 is 26. The left-hand side equals the right-hand side, so we have verified that the answer we found of 4 is correct. So there's really only one extra step when you have a variable on both sides, and that is to move them to one side. And again, it doesn't matter whether you go to the left-hand side or the right-hand side. You will end up with the same answer. So let's look at this one here. Negative 3c plus 7 equals 2c minus 8. Just to show you that it does not matter which side we move the variable to, in this example, I'm actually going to move it to the right-hand side. So that means I want to move this across to the right-hand side. Right now, it's a negative 3c. What's the inverse of negative? It's positive. So we are going to add 3c to both sides. Negative 3c plus 3c will be 0. So we're just left with 7 equals 2c plus 3c is 5c minus 8. Now our goal is to get the c by itself. So we need to move that negative 8. Inverse of a negative is addition. So we're going to add 8 to both sides. 7 plus 8 is 15. We'll have 5c. And then negative 8 plus 8 is 0, so that is gone. 5c means 5 times c, and the inverse of multiplication is division. So I'm going to divide both sides by 5. 15 divided by 5 is 3. 5 divided by 5 is 1, so we're just left with 1c or c. So 3 equals c. So it's really one extra step to what we have been doing in the last few lessons, And that extra step is that we're starting with a variable on both sides of the equation, and we need to first combine them together on one side. Doesn't matter whether you go to the left or to the right, you simply use inverse operations to group the like terms.